While security is everybody's business, citizens have also the responsibility to ensure that they make themselves secured, while the government also, primary responsibility is the security of life and property of the citizens. This currently in Nigeria and the Sahel region of Africa, insecurity has become the order of the day. Many people are concerned and worried on what is happening. This invariably is affecting development. Today we'll be looking at, specifically in Nigeria, with a question: is the Nigeria police force losing the fight against insecurity? Nigeria is actually the benchmark for measurement of security in Africa because maybe by the large size of citizens and the responsibilities inherent, other African countries look up to Nigeria. Today, we have in the studio already seated as a guest to look at the topic. We have Sir Chikwe Udensi. Sir Chikwe Udensi is Chairman Governing Council, Institute for Security and Safety Studies at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. He's also the Vice President of International Security Association and Systems Consultant, Interpol National Bureau Office here in Abuja. So he's a man that has it all. Of course, he's a lawyer, he's a private business man, and a man passionate about security. So he'll be joining me to look at what is happening to security and particularly the Nigeria Police Force on this program. But that will be after this report put together by Elizabeth Tanko from the Nigerian Army. Sit back as we bring you this report from Yobe State.
In furtherance to his operational and sensitization engagements, the Nigeria Chief of Army Staff Corps, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, paid a courtesy call on the Yobe State Governor, Honorable Mai Mala Buni. The visit, which is part of his operational tour to the Northeast Theatre of Operation, offered the Chief of Army Staff the opportunity to interact with his officers and soldiers in the front line. Addressing the Yobe State Governor on his visit, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, reaffirmed the Nigerian Army's commitment to tackle the security challenges in the state.
I think as Nigerians, we need to come together more than ever before to see that we checkmate all this myriad of insecurity. Because if we don't, at some point, we will not have a country to live in. So we need the cooperation of everybody. Not only Yobians, we need the cooperation of all Nigerians to bring this menace to an end. Like I said, if we don't do that now, and it's very important we do that now, because if you look at what is happening in the Sahel region is on fire, and if we allow that fire to come down this way, then we'll be in trouble. So it's best as a country for us to raise up, forestall what is coming, and nip it in the bud as fast as possible. The government, headed by the President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is particularly committed because it's something that he has told me personally several times. But we, as the players, we need to reiterate this to more Nigerians so that together we can make Nigeria better. So we need the support of the government, the support of the good people of Yobe, and by extension other states.
The Chief of Army Staff further disclosed plans to deploy additional operational enablers and reinforcement of troops.
That despite a few setbacks that we've had, that things are going to improve. We're bringing in more enablers, we're bringing in more troops. And I can assure you that we will not go back to the years like 2015, because it will be out of place for me to have worked so hard there to bring peace. And now that I'm the Chief of Army Staff, to see that that peace is being eroded. So we're going to do everything possible to make things better. That I can assure you. The Yobe people should rest assured that things will improve, and they shouldn't have any need to fear.
In his response, Governor Buni appreciated the Chief of Army Staff for the visit. The governor also pledged his continued support to the military, emphasizing the need for collaboration to achieve lasting peace.
Can't really thank and appreciate the members of Nigerian Armed Forces for all the sacrifice to keep us in peace. And like you said, we are also sensitizing the general public. This is not all about the security agencies. It is all about Nigeria and Nigerians. Because we must all come together, work together, synergize. And then, of course, the symbiotism between the general public and the security agencies will largely contribute to what the security agencies will be able to do. Our primary responsibility is to secure the people. And security here in Yobe State is our first line of charge, and we cannot sit back to relax. We will work with you, we will support all the security agencies, particularly the military.
Elizabeth Thango, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Like I said, we'll be looking at is the Nigeria police losing the fight against insecurity. And with me here, seated in the guest already, is Chikwe Udensi. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thanks for having me, Patrick.
Yes, it's good to have you back again after some time now. The last time we talked about general insecurity in Nigeria and what is to be done, and you talked about the role you're playing with the Interpol. Now, let's look at the president was out of the country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and when he came back, because of what was happening and what is been happening, he declared enough is enough, that his government is going to face the fight against security seriously. Some have said that this is just normal political statement, that we need to see the boots on the ground. So far, what would you say about security in Nigeria?
Nothing has changed. If you look at the crime desk, you see that things are even worsening in some areas. Well, I heard the president say so. He has just said it, so maybe there is something he has to offer, different from what is on ground. If you ask me if what's on ground is sufficient, I will tell you very clearly, it is absolutely insufficient. It is not necessarily that the federal government is not doing something. Yeah. But I'm equally concerned that the other tiers of government, we have the states and local government. Security is not an exclusive list. Security is not exclusive to the federal government. In fact, it ought to go down to the local governments.
Local government, yeah.
If you consider that most of the troubles we have today are in the rural areas, that's where they're coming from. Yeah. The urban areas are relatively very safe. That does not mean there are no skirmishes, but the rural areas is exactly where the problem lies. I visited last week when the president was in Katsina. I visited Katsina, and I wanted to find out what was going on, security-wise in Katsina. The main town, Katsina, is all peaceful. But if you just step out a little bit, it is not peaceful. In the villages, in the rural areas of Katsina, it's not peaceful at all. And I sought to find out what the situation is. In fact, my friend who moved me around showed me what happened to him not too long ago. He went to his farm in the rural area, only to find out the place had been occupied fully by bandits. He had the courage to not confront them, but he entered his place. They never attacked him. They were peaceful, but they have occupied the place. I sought to find out from him, is there no law enforcement in that area? Of course, there's law enforcement. The DPO is there. What can he do? So the emphasis here, if we are going to be serious, over 70% of our people are living in these rural areas.
That's true.
If you have any situation where somebody is a victim of either kidnap or banditry, find out from them. There are specifics they will explain to you that those who kidnapped them took them to a camp. You're not talking about an uncompleted building somewhere. Established camp. We have discussed with them that they take them to established camps in those rural areas. Are you suggesting that this country does not have enough resources to sweep the whole areas? We have enough resources to do that. So now the president is saying that something has to be changed. Let me hope something will change. I hope it's not going to be a summit, because I'm opposed to...
Of course,
I'm
which
opposed,
is what they are proposing,
absolutely.
National Security Summit, a talk activity. But specific, you talked about the insecurity being more pronounced in the rural areas. And like you rightly said, we have local government and we have state government. Now, talking about local government, we know that politically they have been inactive for so many years now, so maybe that must have affected the police, which is the #1 security agency in internal security. You cited an example of DPO being there, not being able to do anything. That is why we caption this. Are they losing this fight? Because it seems that the police themselves are incapacitated. Where is the problem? Is it that they are not being given the support by the government, or is it that the policemen we have cannot do anything? Because intelligence is also failing.
I have privileged information.
Yes.
Both as former Secretary General of ALGON, local governments, I was Secretary General, and currently security consultant, systems consultant of Interpol at the National Central Bureau. We took a tour of local governments. We selected from each zone 8 local government per zone, and we toured it to find the situation. What we have in the local government is called divisional police offices. Yeah. Have you seen one of them? Have you taken a look at any divisional police office in the rural areas? Yeah. It was one of the reasons why I took our time to make specific demands when there was a need to amend the Police Act. We went and asked specifically. We made several demands. I'm happy that one of the demands we insisted on, making sure that the head of the police, Inspector General, had a tenure. I'm happy that it is bearing fruit. Because before that time, if you consider from 1999, when Kumasi was there, to the last IG, the average office number of years the policeman have always had as an Inspector General of Police is just about 1.5 years. That is not enough to do anything. That is why we're saying at the first instance, an Inspector General of Police should be given at least 4 years. Now it appears it's going to happen. So we hope that this Inspector General of Police will come and roll out legacy project. Some of the things we insisted on, which they said will allow the Inspector General of Police to take care of. We are not going to put it in the Police Act. We have not seen it yet. They are very fundamental. They are very important. In that divisional police office, you must have to equip it if you must have to do the police work in that area. What do I mean by that? The divisional police offices right now, like I told you, are rural areas. About 70% of people are living there. 30% are living in the urban areas. That's the estimation. If we now have 70% of the police manning 30% of the population, whereas less than 30% of the police are manning 70% of the population, especially a population where the crime is. That is where the problem lies. They're not properly equipped, not trained, no proper provision for even welfare of the people. I remember there was the one that just happened not too long ago. The Minister of FCT, Wike, went to Gwagwalada. I think it was a town hall meeting he had. The head of the traditional head of the community informed Wike, open that Gwagwalada, look at the population of Gwagwalada, and look and see that there are several federal agencies many federal agencies in Gwagwarada, but they have only one divisional police office and only one serviceable vehicle. And that serviceable vehicle is minimally serviceable. Gwagwarada just next to. So if we have skirmishes there, even if you have a regular traffic problem, how will one vehicle? I'm not talking about criminal issues. I'm not talking about banditry, not kidnapping. If you have traffic issues, how will the police respond to it with one vehicle? So what I'm saying is this, very simple. Yes, there's no doubt government is doing a few things, but it's too little. We must have to get involved, the local governments and the states, to make sure there's proper contribution in this area.
Okay, yeah. In fact, there's I just noted it. You talked about the tenorship of the IGP, and there are a lot of people who say that tenorship may not actually be the issue because there are some factors they pointed out. But you also talked about the need for if an IG wants to do something, may not be able to execute it. Police being a regimental and a disciplined organization. Other ranks will be affected in progression, but that is for another discussion, another entirely. Now, talking about equipping, because from what you pointed out, obviously means that police have not been taken care of enough, and that is why maybe they are inefficient. They don't have sufficient manpower, or maybe appropriation of this manpower, because having very few policemen manning the larger population of the rural areas and means that the other people are manning the so-called elites. We have seen IGs talked about withdrawal of policemen from some people so that we can have more policemen on the road. Why do you think that is not working?
Well, if who are the people you are withdrawing the police from? They are the targets. That's why policemen are getting them. They are the major targets.
But they're in the urban cities, centers. And you're talking about...
Are you suggesting they don't go to the rural areas?
How many of them have reported back to the rural areas?
What we need to do is tackle insecurity head on. What do I mean by that?
Okay.
I have told you very clearly that some of us are very concerned. We are beginning to think that even government is benefiting from this. Or maybe those in the helm of affairs are benefiting from it. Yeah. I saw Zulum the other day saying that he has rehabilitated 300,000 bandits. I don't know where he got those ones from. The records we have internationally is that we have about 15,000 of them in Nigeria. So where did he get 300,000?
The bandits or terrorists?
Both of them. Both of them. The bandits and terrorists are the same thing.
Yeah.
So if you put all of them together, he was asking federal government to, I don't know if that was exactly what he was asking for funding, asking for people to bring some level of succor for his people. He has rehabilitated 300,000. We don't have such figures. Now, the figures we have, let's assume there are about 15,000, like the international community says. There are 15,000 of them. Where are they? They're in the forests. How many see, the tackling of insecurity in Nigeria, when it has to do with banditry and kidnapping, it's not essentially the job of the police right now. Yeah, we have the armed forces involved in it.
No, but I think there is
so it's very important that you understand it very clearly.
There is a mix-up somewhere there because I think Zulum was talking about their situation in the northeast and the particular experience of the Borno, where it's even a federal government project where some
300,000?
No. I don't think that's the figure.
That's the figure I saw there.
But okay, even let's assume those are we know that some about over 150,000 bandits terrorists have surrendered.
Are they terrorists?
So which is
people who are hungry, who don't want to go and work, who declare themselves terrorists and submit themselves to government for some handouts. Are they the real terrorists? The terrorists are in the forests. Let us go and eliminate them from the forests. Okay. Let us not the people who come out of the streets and say they are now terrorists and they have withdrawn, they have surrendered. These are not the terrorists. We still have this problem. It's existing.
Okay.
All these things you are saying are just make-believes. These other ones are totally make-believe. Those of us in security. As those of us who have figures and facts, they are make-believes. And that is also why
But those
we
who
are
counted the 15,000, like you said, how did they count them? Do they know the figures?
Let me give you information.
Okay.
The international community has very strong ways of having data. We have given you the data of what we have at the borders. 5 major entry points, 22 minor entry points, but over 1,000 illegal entry points. They are not from government. They are not from the establishments. They are from international agencies. There are people who have interest in security in Nigeria. They'll give you the figures,
And,
effective figures.
and those who may not have interest with these bandits, is it possible?
Well, I don't know that. I saw the Chief of Defense Staff the other day.
Yeah.
He was on Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
And he said that he suspects international interest in the banditry in Nigeria. He said so very clearly in Al Jazeera. But I didn't understand what he meant by that. When he was asked, why do you say that? What is your evidence? His evidence was that whenever they are being caught, when the criminals, the bandits are being apprehended, that they realize they have dollars and they have some other foreign currencies. We have over 4,000 Bureau changes here. We have over 100,000 illegal ones. Every community you can get foreign exchange. The important thing is for them to get, which they are getting, is the monies they collect from ransom. And they are getting it. So that is no excuse at all. What we should do, my dear, is very simple. Get serious. These people are in the forest. Everybody who has been arrested, who has been a victim, have indicated to us that they are in the forests. Can't we sweep the forests? Okay. With the enormous number of, we have 12 law enforcement agencies in the country and 3 armed forces, members of the armed forces. Can you see the numbers there? You think that we can't take away this ragtag arrangement? They are ragtag, they're not organized. We have an organized setup. If we are serious in the country, and we ought to be serious because we have the resources to do that. And those who tell us we don't have resources are lying.
How do you sweep these people, like you said?
Okay, now it's not something I will be explaining here. But let me, I can give you a little bit which the public can hear.
Okay.
Don't we have drones?
Okay.
Don't we have recognizance aircrafts?
Aircrafts, yeah.
That are not even manned.
Yes.
And they can be up there for 6 weeks. And
okay.
sweep the place.
Okay.
We have the ones that can remain there. The refueling system is through the sun.
Okay.
And then the battery charged have the capacity for 24 hours. There's no way we can have 24 hours without light coming on. And they're up there. So they can recharge up there and clean up, check it out. Where we have these bandits existing, we move in the armed forces. Take them out of the system. Because it appears we are using kid gloves to pursue the issue of insecurity in the country.
You know, sir, you're pointing out some of these issues, but let's look at general insecurity. I'm sure that it's not only banditry and terrorism or kidnapping we're having in the country.
No, we have so many more.
Yes.
But you see, the one that's important
how
everybody.
best do we take care of all these?
Okay, well, if you look at the crime desk, like I keep saying,
Yes.
look at robbery, burglary, rape, which is a very serious issue.
Yes.
Look at Morgan, which is also a serious issue. So these are all in the problems we have with regards to insecurity. But the one that is disturbing the country most, the one that is creating national discourse, the one that is causing the problems we have, is kidnapping, banditry, and also the inability of our people to go to the farms. That is where the problem lies. And that area.
What about secessionist agitation?
Well, secessionist agitation is as a result, if you ask me, it's as a result of perceived injustice. Perceived injustice. That is what I know. Ask Shawolu, he will tell you. Ask Badijo. Ask Nnamdi Kanu. It's just perceived injustice. But you see, unfortunately, like we keep telling the government, that if you want to stop problems in a system, and that problem is associated with security, you don't necessarily have to use force in all of them. We have analyzed severally the case of Southeast. If, for example, what most of people say, if Badijo is out there, he's a secessionist, what is it called? Showore. If Showore is out there, why is Nnamdi in there?
Okay.
That's what we're saying.
In fact, you have just raised
and
another
if you
point.
continue that,
Yes.
having Nnamdi in there,
Yeah.
and then keep suggesting that for some reason, through maybe a security summit or some speech, that there will be peace in the Southeast, you are wasting your time.
All right.
It's self-deceit.
Seriously, you've just opened up a lot that we need to discuss with you. I think we're going to continue discussion because I'm getting signals to go off. They say our time is up. It's been our pleasure talking with you. With time permitting, and I know you're very busy, but we will plead with you. Maybe we'll find time for you to come, because we just talk about two issues that we must be discussed, because we need peace and security in the country.
You must have to pursue it very well, not all these summits. Summit is fraudulent. Let us do the right thing. We know what the problem is.
All right.
We should solve the problem. Simple.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
for your
thanks for
time.
having
It's
me.
a pleasure. We are really pleasure. Yeah, viewer, unfortunately, we have to go. Time is up for other programs to continue. Until when we come here again next week, I say thanks for staying tuned, and bye for now.